So, like I said, as a target individual, what we've been experiencing is changed ways of thinking, reacting, even functioning, because of how they use us as human subjects for this program. We are human subjects. Unfortunately, there's this program led by governmental entities related to the DoD, DARPA, and other intelligence community, where utilizing human subjects to develop and continue to improve technology that is already very sophisticated, extremely sophisticated. So sophisticated that the individual they even contract to partake in this program, which you're gonna hear a lot. You're gonna hear that a lot. The target individual says that we are surrounded by people who we call perps, implementing tactics to disorient you, to basically push you into insanity. And those individuals sometimes are actually children. They sound like children. But the technology that is implemented onto us is so sophisticated that children themselves can partake and actually do the job that is needed to be done, because the truth is they actually want us to be agitated and also frustrated. And the gaslighting methods utilized onto us to make us subscribe to these things is truly at a level like a level that you as a perp, as a contracted individual, you yourself have to dumb yourself down. You yourself have to minimize your intellect. And that's because you are trying to gaslight somebody. But I think gaslighting is a little bit minimizing what they do, because gaslighting will be like an everyday, like known, governmental tactics. I would say is more a psyop. I've tried to get you to accept things that are falsified. Now you see this picture. This is a picture of me. Now it feels like a long time ago, but in 2018, I was outside of this country. I was somewhere in Asia, and when I was in Asia, I was targeted, but I was not getting the synthetic telepathy, which is now manipulating my brain. Matter of fact, as I'm speaking right now, you hear this trash, this perps, making noise campaign to disorient me, because their job right now, for example, I'm saying, what's happening. Their job is to disorient and distort reality, right? So they do these things where they come out, make noise campaign. This is the things they're tasked to do, because they want to keep this bubble of false reality, of distorted reality, so I, the target individual, can stay within this falsified reality. Now, this picture is me in 2018. Before August 19, 2019, my thoughts, my reactions were not being manipulated. And today, it's not the same. I cannot be myself anymore. I'm forced to get reactions. And that's because they start implementing the synthetic telepathy and the V2K. Starting from 2019, specifically August 19, 2019. And so ever since that point, there's been manipulation of my thoughts, and then there's been perps who openly been making noise campaign to try to block in this manipulation, make me identify with the things that I'm forced to experience today. That's their job. Like I said, these people have been the trash of these entities, to trash people. They are civilian, most of them, and I guess the incentives are provided for them to do what they do. But they do what they do, and they're supposed to be doing that. And like I said, I'm just so thankful that in my life I didn't have the opportunity that they have to do what they do, because the truth is, it seems like they have sold their soul to some nasty ass, disturbing entities, which happen to have a lot of pedophiles, which I don't know if it's a correlation with the way they manipulate us today, but like I said, they sold their soul to pedos, and you're gonna hear that those entities that contract this nasty trash have big problems when it comes to pedophilia. It seems like they have problems that have been ongoing for a long time. Now today, what's gonna happen every time I look at a child is I'm gonna get forced to get stimulations. And then these perps, these contracted civilians, gonna do things to try to, one, box in this thought as if this is organic, as if it's happening organically. They're gonna do whatever they can to make me identify with these manipulations, which they themselves are involved into making me experience this. And they're gonna say whatever they need to say, right? That's their job. This is part of how they want the target individual to accept and identify with falsification. But at this point, the validation I have, and of course I know myself, to know that this is not me, but on top of that, they do these things systematically. Like I said, the childlike individuals can involve themselves in this because truly they have to make themselves, they have to minimize the intellect, right? Matter of fact, even when the way they want to agitate me is like a child trying to agitate somebody. It's like, no, they are. It's like, well, that's what they're supposed to do. And I've noticed with time they become less and less wanting to be seen because I'm more and more validated, which you're gonna hear. And so now what they do usually is just like kind of warning me, not even kind of warning me that they're gonna torture me, they're gonna frame me, things that actually validates me, but in their mind where they have made themselves much more childlike, don't see it that yes, because you also do these things, right? You are doing very foul things, and you do that to not only adult people but even children. But most importantly, they want you to accept this falsification of reality. Now, this picture was taken in 2018, before August 19, 2019, before V2K and synthetic telepathy. Now, with that being said, at the time, I knew something was going on. I didn't know why exactly, but I just knew something was off. That is a few months before I decided to quit from a job that is the employer who put me in this program. But, I was myself, I was thinking the way I would think naturally. And I was outside of the country. And in this picture, you see on the side, there's babies, there's little girls, there's little boys, there's kids everywhere. And obviously, I did not get any nasty reaction that today I would be forced to be experiencing. I was somebody who was able to live a normal life in the sense that I will react normally. I will not get this disgusting reaction that today, if this baby was next to me, they will force me to get nasty stimulations and say, no, we mapped it to you were when you were a kid. That's the things they would do. And then they will send childlike individuals and other individuals who sound like they want to sound fierce, but it's just like so disturbing and childlike at the same time. It's like gimmicky. To be like, no, they are. It's like people who have created a persona for themselves to kind of deal with this fantasy they want to project onto me. These people have to stoop to a level there is no return. And so that picture is a reminder of how things were before my brain became a hooked to whatever device my brain is hooked to, and before I was forced to react the way they would want me to react, and then having this trash who come with this like repetitions and ways to kind of disorient me, distort reality, could go with the repetitions of things they say to try to make me accept to these things. Now we mapped it that they are when you were a kid. What we did, we mapped this to there, and then gave my libido cranked up. All the nasty manipulations. Matter of fact, the way they try to counter this is like, you know what, you got something, but you didn't know you were feeling something. So now we just kind of like brought up something that was deep inside, but we brought it back, some retardation of logic to try to make you really believe these things. And it's like, no, it was something deep, but we kind of brought it up, stupidity. That's the kind of stuff they really, truly want you to subscribe to. When you've been validated that they obviously do the pedophilia type of torture, they force you to get this nasty reaction. And today, anytime there's a child, from these babies next to me to the older kids, always nasty stimulation. Matter of fact, there's somebody all the way there that I don't know if it's like a kid or something. They all also try to force me to get like perception and things, disturbing things. And try to get you to accept these things. This is a clear, obvious moment that, okay, I was there in this country. Well, no, and of course it happened multiple times. But there's kids, there's adult, like, and none of these reactions and stimulations and sensations and nastiness that today I will be forced to experience. Now that they mapped it, you understand? They mapped it to you worry with some stupidity things and manipulation of memories and things that are just non-stop. It's trash. And they really had been conditioning me to experience some kind of reaction every time there's children, from babies to older kids, training the brain, rewiring the brain 24/7, this disgusting pedophilia ways. But this is a tactic they've been doing for years. This is textbook tactics they've been applied that have been applied on other people. I'm just thankful. Like, I am thankful that my life and never got into a place where this is something that I was doing. I could never be able to look at myself. This trash know this is gonna come for them. They know. They know there's a receipt. That receipt's gonna be collected one way or another. Matter of fact, the fact that there's so many pedophiles in the agencies that contract this trash to implement these tactics are just like more and more of like warnings. Just like they warn me of the horrible things that I pray God to give me strength for. They have warnings coming toward them that they need to kind of like prep for. Because the cowardness that they have to live right now with. Matter of fact, it's just disturbing purpose. It's part of this tactic of tormenting a target individual. They do things remotely. So they have to do things in the most cowardly ways. Now, if a perp is not a natural coward, they will have to become cowards. So if you're already a coward individual, doing this is even better. But if you're not a coward person, you have to also maintain these cowardly tactics. And at the same time, we know that target individuals have gone violent. They have killed because of the agitations, the disturbingness. So these perps are aware. They're aware that, most target individuals know that these things are being, these manipulations, and they want revenge. They want to, like, they want to go, like, they rather die and take care of, so they understand. But these perps, because of the cowardly nature of how this thing is applied onto us target individual, you hear these people trying to sound fierce. They're sounding like mentally challenged human beings. But that's their job. That's their agitation tactics. And when you see them in person, once I saw somebody, I started laughing. She was a perp. You look at her as like, oh my gosh, this overweight child. Tell me who I am. And you look at her as like, I could hear her breathe. I'm like, this is the ideal people. That are needed for this program. Some of them are like pure childlike individuals who just feel empowerment. Pure childlike. Talking to you via V2K, voice to skull, which can impose and project voices onto your brain. And they flourish through this. Now, a target individual or anybody who's watching my testimonials, when I look at pictures of me, for example, this picture of me in 2018, outside of the country, in Asia, in a very popular place where there's a bunch of people, young people, old people, babies, all kind of, and be able to be normal and not get this disturbing reaction that I'm forced to experience today because of these nasty manipulations, is just remembering that I'm being changed, I'm being conditioned in disturbing ways, and today I will hate to be around this environment because the nasty reactions I will be forced to experience. And then I will have to deal with these perps contracted to try to gaslight you, to try to not even try. Their job is to actually make you accept these nasty manipulations. But going through the repetitions the systematic repetitions and tactics to somehow get you to subscribe to this. Now, a lot of these people doing this thing to me don't like to be seen. Like I said, it's obvious that I'm being manipulated, and it's obvious that I've been validated that this manipulation is done consistently to others. So here is why I'll always know that this trash sold is sold to pedophiles. And they will have their receipt. They already have their receipt, and the collection will have to be coming at some point. Now, I'm just thankful to God that even though what I'm expecting at this point is going to be some horrible torture, is thank you, God, that in my life, at any point, this is not something I involve myself in. And so now I'm just asking God, through all these horrible things to my death, please give me the strength that I will need. But I'm thankful. I am super thankful that this thing has dignified me. I could have lived life like them. I'm not saying they live a comfortable life. They are probably well funded. Well, I know they're well funded, but they probably give good incentives. There are a bunch of them, so they'll never be actually lonely. There's incentives. I'm sure the empowerment, the feeling of empowerment, even though a lot of them are just losers and people, they feel special. They deal with technology that is extremely sophisticated. All these great incentives at a cost of what? Having to do this nastiness. I will never want to trade life with these people who are able to do whatever they want, while me, I'm suffering, I'm being tortured, tormented, in every ways, psychological and physically. I'd rather die this way. This way gives me a dignity and honorability that perhaps I don't think I will ever have in any other ways. So thank you, God, and give me strength for whatever I'm going to have to go through till my death. But in the meantime, please listen to the validations.
Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their mind.
Odorants. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. Like, this disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing.
Any part of the body. This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal.
TO do, and I started laughing. And then I said again out loud, "You'll never take my will, ASS." So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. They love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude. They are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you can imagine what the slaves of torture are pretending to do to me. In the last days, as today September 9th, 07, anything I do, either watching TV or reading of whatever I'm doing, they brush me sort of say, I feel like I'm aroused all day and I feel the palpitations in my genitals for what I'm thinking, and since the attack comes
Not being prosecuted? What are
They'll say we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
Washington, the Pentagon's top investigator yesterday vowed an all-out pursuit of any employees who downloaded child pornography, adding that his division would review the 1,700 potential cases that were referred to military investigators 4 years ago but were never screened. Gordon S. Hedel, the Department of Defense's Inspector General, said in a statement to the Globe that his office is working aggressively to correct the mishandling of cases identified in a multi-department government probe called Operation Flicker. I can assure those with questions that my office is conducting an aggressive pursuit of anyone implicated in Operation Flicker and that it is a key investigative priority, Hedel said in his first public statement on the matter. The Pentagon agency has faced intense criticism in recent months for its part of a nationwide child pornography investigation that was spearheaded by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, which has jurisdiction for such federal crimes under its mandate. The Globe reported earlier this week the Pentagon had checked only 3,500 out of 5,200 people who were suspected of downloading child pornography. The partial screening of that list, which was conducted in 2007, identified 302 people who were military personnel, civilian employees, or private contractors. Some of those held high-level security clearances and worked at sensitive intelligence agencies such as the National Security Agency, which eavesdrops on enemy communications. Several also accessed the images on their work computers, a separate violation. Out of the 302 cases, 70 were eventually pursued, and only a handful resulted in prosecutions.
So
Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts. I mean, Kubark manual. And they do good cop, bad cop interrogation called Jeff and Mutt, and they go right through the list, right? Just textbook. So whoever the handlers are on the other side of this synthetic telepathy, they're following the handbook perfectly.
2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. But sexual crimes involving children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that 2 officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening in the general evil?
Ali, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number 1, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number 2, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind?
So you hear the obvious things here, that there is a systematic tactic to break people down, try to change the individual to be somebody else, and kind of modulate his or her behavior. Try to make you experience things that you will not experience naturally. Now, it's the things they do. But they try to also say no, but we're doing it because remember what you did in college is that that girl, like I'm gonna make that name up, Courtney, and this. I'm like, listen, these people, what they've done to women are things that, I mean, you know what? Listen to the things they do to women, target individuals who call themselves target individuals, human subject in this program, and the horrible things they have to deal with.
You feel that you've been injustice?
You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, how do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, you're mentally sound as a bell. He said, I don't have any idea what's going on with you. When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock up my rectum. I get electric shock up my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both of my hands. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of
The source are these exotic weapons. They talk about in 2970 that if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan. And please give us a congressional hearing.
I, too, believe my experience is referred to as no-touch torture, utilizing defense technologies. Jonathan Marino, he basically predicted all this a number of years ago in his book Undue Risk. I'm asking you to help initiate a congressional investigation. We've all come a long way. This is what is needed. We want to have the accounts of this extreme human rights abuse that's going on in our country documented and heard, all of the accounts. We also need what was done during the Clinton administration, which is a major declassification of some of these documents that are hiding what's been going on. I speak for many when I say we've suffered long enough. My personal experience has been 10 years. I've been vilified. I've been ostracized. I've been tortured. I have burns on my body. I'm an American. I have rights. The answer to the question, the big question today, could it happen today? The answer is yes, it is happening today. It is happening for some of us every day.
My reactions and responses to the torture. The Polish Minister of Defense later retracted, Poland openly admitted, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. Because of the bowel and bladder manipulation, but also because of the frequent severe sexual assaults on the genitals, my butt and anus shaking, vibrating, and rocking.
So you hear these horrible things they do to women. As I was making this video, you probably heard some loud noises, some bangs. All of that was trying to distract and disorient what you heard. I mean, these things are disgusting. What they've done to women, what they do to women is just disturbing. These people are the human trash. You know, as I was recording this, they were making me think of this this disgusting childlike individual. I remember going to the grocery store, and somebody from the back looked like this person was sleeping in the same jeans for days. It was like a slappy, like teenager, whatever. They tried to make me look at this kid in a sexual way. She looked like she pooped her pants. It was disgusting. And it was so bad that even my head, even when they tried to make me perceive this trash in a sexual way, it was just nasty. And the reason why they were making Noise Campaign is because they wanted to box in this version. They wanted to make it seem like that it was something that did something to me sexually. She was so trashy, meaning that she seemed so dirty that even the sexual stimulations the sexual perception didn't even work on her. And you heard this trash making Noise Campaign to also disorient me and distract me from what you just heard. They do this disgusting pedophilia type of torture. They do this terrible torture of children and women. But also, you just heard how foul they are to people. So you can only guess that people end up losing their mind and causing mass shootings. This couple months ago, I think in the 25th or so of October 2023, there was one of the largest mass shooting of the U.S. history, and the largest of 2023 so far. And this man ended up killing 18 people, which included a child, by the way. And this man was being told that he was a pedophile via V2K. And he lost his mind and ended up killing. And hopefully my microphone captures some of the Noise Campaign, because the people who ended up dying are most likely not these people who do this Noise Campaign, who try to agitate the target individual into losing his mind or her mind, but some innocent people who just were having their own fun, playing bowling and with children, and he ended up killing 18 people. While this trash do these things to us, force us to look at kids in these most disturbing ways, from the babies to the older kids, even the dirty. But that's what they do. But listen to this. Unfortunately, may those 18 poor victims rest in peace. But the people who causing him to go crazy, most likely did not get impacted at all. But listen to this. This just happened maybe a month and a half ago, and this is what the horrible things that happened.
In Me Last Week, from New York Times, I'm Michael Barbaro. This is a daily. In Me Last Week, from New York Times, I'm Michael Barbaro. This is a daily. Today, the mass shooting that occurred in Me last week, killing 18 people, was the country's deadliest of the year. It may also have been one of the most avoidable.
voices. He started to be increasingly paranoid and angry. The teenage son and the ex-wife say that he has started to hear voices. He started to be increasingly paranoid and angry. The teenage son and the ex-wife say that he has started to hear voices. He started to be increasingly paranoid together at a motel, and he starts accusing them of calling him a pedophile. This is one of his paranoid delusions that comes up repeatedly together at a motel, and he starts accusing them of calling him a pedophile. This is one of his paranoid delusions that comes up repeatedly at a motel, and he starts accusing them of calling him a pedophile. This is one of his paranoid delusions that comes up repeatedly.
So you hear the reality, in the midst of me making this video, what they try to do is counter. And how they counter reality and try to maintain this distorted reality is through manipulations of my thoughts. And like I said, they like to bring up the things they made me experience and even add to it, because with time, memories can be changed. Things can be embellished even more, manipulated even more. And so they're bringing up this, I'm sorry for being vulgar, but this very dirty looking teenage kid. Like, she looked like she just hasn't done laundry for a long time. Looked like her pants was just dark because she pooped herself. It's just nasty. And of course try to create this like perception that kind of makes her look better, and try to create a perception that is sexual. The reason why they were doing that is because they're trying to counter what you just heard. These people do this pedophilia type of torture. They force target individuals to look at children, from the babies like this in the picture over there, in a sexual way, even the older kids. And it's just disgusting. But you gotta see these people for what they are. People who sold their soul to pedophiles. They enjoy this. It gives them an empowerment they don't have in their own life. This person that was banging things in to make noise campaign, who knows what's going on in her personal life? But in the midst of doing this, they're gods. Life is controlled and everything goes according to plans because I'm a target individual and this is run by the government. So to all my target individuals and to anybody watching, do not subscribe. When I look at pictures of me, then I'll know that none of this nasty manipulation, from the babies to the older kids, I'll never get none of this nastiness, perceptions or stimulations. I will never. I'll just look at them, look at this baby like as this adorable little girl with no stimulation, no sensation. I look at this teenage kid they try to just like kind of slappy kid was just kind of but today things can change, and things changes now. My perceptions are my perception are changed, manipulated, and it's disgusting. And that's how we have to accept reality for what it is. We're no longer ourselves. They are changing our reactions, our perceptions, and this is how things goes now.